Welcome to the Money Watch Show. I am Jill Schlesinger, CBS News business analyst and certified financial planner. And happy Boxing Day. I am joined by executive producer and lover of all things British, Mark Talercio, who's got a sore throat. Oh, Mark, I'm sorry about your sore throat, dude.
Yeah, it's sore throat. Other than that, I feel fine. And like you, I love all things British. I don't know if I'm be going in 2024. I think the only way I'm going in 2024 is if I get lucky again and win the ballot for Wimbledon.
Oh, you already entered.
Yes.
You've been to all Grand Slam tournaments, correct?
Correct. I did Australia in I think 2009, U.S. Open, basically every year almost my life. And then I did French Open in 2017. That was planned. I bought tickets ahead of time. And then the same year, I found out I won the Wimbledon ballot 2017. So I did French Open and Wimbledon both in 2017.
That's awesome. That is just awesome. Now, which is your favorite?
If I'm sitting home watching TV...
No, live. Just live. Which was the best live experience?
I'd probably have to go Wimbledon. I mean, it's Wimbledon. It's like the holy grail of tennis.
Okay. All right.
But I've always, my favorite tournament, like the one that got me into tennis way back when, for whatever reason, was the Australian Open.
Really? But you and my sister, who'd are sleep deprived during the Australian Open, the only two people watching it live are you and my sister.
Now it's hard for me to watch the Australian Open, but back in the day, I mean, I would stay up until all hours of the night watching.
You know, you're going to be like that guy who got in touch with us, and his off-ramp job was that he worked for the USTA, going to tournaments and being a ball boy or whatever he did, escorting people. That could be your job. You would be psyched about that job, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I drive some players around,
Why not?
Drive some shortcuts.
All right. It is Boxing Day, which means everything British, so Wimbledon. What's your, do you feel like you have a favorite place not in London, but in Great Britain? Because we know you love London, but what about Great Britain in general? What's a place that you think people should go that they don't necessarily go to?
Well, if I was going to, if I was planning a trip to London and I was going to do some day trips, I would go to, I really like Brighton.
Mm-hmm.
Brighton's a very
good
cool
fish and
place.
Chips there.
Yeah, it's right on the water. It's easy from London. It's like a short, maybe an hour and a half train ride. Oxford is nice. All Cambridge, all those places. I mean, there's so many day trips. I went up to the Yorkshires. The Yorkshires are beautiful. The Roland Dales. It's gorgeous.
I liked Bath, or as we like to say, Bath. I love that. I think it's a great day trip. Really fun. And we're talking about this because it is Boxing Day. And of course, the derivation of Boxing Day is that your aristocracy, your landed people would basically box up their presents for their help on the 26th. And it was a holiday to give gifts to the poor people, like that. But anyway, now it's just, it's part of Christmas. Second day is, the Commonwealth nations say, oh, it's Boxing Day, and we don't. And also in Great Britain, Mark, how do you feel about them saying Happy Christmas, which is odd, don't you think?
Happy Christmas? Yeah, it doesn't quite work for me.
They do say Happy Christmas. Anyway, Happy Christmas and Happy Boxing Day. We're going to do some emails today because our email inbox is bulging. And if you've got a financial question and you want to send us an email, go to jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and you'll be able to complete a form that's essentially the email that we receive. At the bottom of the form, it says, would you like to join us live? And if you say yes, that's great. And if you want to join us live on our brand new video show, our YouTube show called Jill on Money, powered by the Compound, you'll have an option to do that as well. There's also a link to check out the new show, which is so much fun. So again, it's a brand new YouTube show. It's coming out Saturdays, right, Mark? It gets pushed out Saturdays. Is that what Duncan does?
Saturday afternoon, Eastern time, yeah.
Saturday afternoon, Eastern time, as you're finishing up your NCAA viewership of both basketball and football. Just hop onto YouTube and you'll be able to see the show, Jill on Money, powered by the Compound. Check it out. It is actually a lot of fun. All right, let's do some emails, Mark, because they are really starting to bulge here. This is from David, who, oh boy, David says he has accumulated $60,000 in debt to start a new business. And he says the average interest on that debt is 12%. He says, my auto loan is down to less than $10,000, 3.3%. Am I better off paying the truck with my tax refund, which will free up $620 a month to pay down credit card debt faster? Or Should I apply my tax refund to the existing debt? I guess he means a business startup debt. Look, gang, I know it's like you have this crazy little moment in time where you're like, I just want to get rid of this auto loan. I get it. It's 3.3%. And the other debt is 12%. So yes, pay off the actual 12% note first. I know that seems like an obvious thing, but everybody asks this question. So David is not alone. This actually is a very common question because I don't know who it was, Mark. There was some personal finance person who was like, just pay it off. You'll feel better. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't like giving financial advice that actually makes no sense. So I know it might feel better to be done with your auto loan, but you'll pay it off. It's fine. So very easy for me, at least, to say, pay off that 12% note. Brian is 49 years old, and he said, I am trying to position myself for retirement. I have been contributing 100% of my contributions pre-tax, and I just recently started doing Roth. Okay, the company matches 50% up to 6%. I've been putting in 15%, 6% pre-tax, 9% Roth. Should I go all in Roth and take the tax hit now or continue to divide? My retirement company that my company uses is Empower. Mark, 49 years old. He didn't say how much money he makes. But I feel like you should have a sounder, which is something like, let's put together something where we have Ed Slott as a sounder saying all Roth all the time. Can we do that?
Yeah, you just gave the answer. I mean, he's 49. I'm going to assume he doesn't, like you said, he doesn't say. I'm going to assume he's got a good chunk of pre-tax money saved up. So he's going to be, I'm guessing he's going to be working for the next 15 or so years. I would start doing Roth.
Yeah.
All Roth.
Yeah. And Mark, what do you know about this Empower? I've heard a lot about this as a fund provider. Do we know like how much the fees are for Empower?
No, I don't know offhand, but I think it's a pretty decent plan. It's crazy popular. More and more companies are using it. I think they have a pretty good selection of index funds. So from what I've seen, what I've read about it, it seems okay.
I don't know why these plans, I don't know what Empower does for you, but I will say that if you've got a plan through work where there are index funds offered, that's usually our number one choice. And Brian, Mark's number one choice is all Roth all the time. And I feel like I want a ringtone, Mark, that says all Roth all the time. When you call, I want it to be like a picture of Ed Slott. And then you, and that is going to be your ringtone. Can you do that for me? I think that'd be good. Oh, this is a long one. Settle in here, gang. The CFO of this family. Subject: are we doing the right things? This is from the CFO. Just let's call her the CFO. Hi, Jill and Mark. I just got my Spotify Wrapped for the year and found out that I am in the top 4% of listeners. I love your show and love hearing about people's different situations. After listening to interview after interview, I decided I would take your advice and reach out. Yes! Way to go, CFO. My husband and I are both 32. We moved back home to Hawaii from the Bay Area during the pandemic, and we work remotely from here. We are hoping to start a family soon, so there may be some pretty big life changes in the near future. All right. Remember that person? We just talked to someone in Hawaii, and it's like the real estate market there is insane. They own a house that's worth $1 million with a $550,000 2.95% 30-year fixed rate mortgage. You know why I said that very slowly, Mark? To rub salt in your wound. What is the mortgage interest rate on the current apartment?
Where we live right now, 3.5.
Okay, still good.
Yeah, right, we're gonna keep it. It's not going anywhere.
You're gonna keep that. All right, here we go. So I make $210,000 a year. I have equity with my company, but we're private, so we're waiting on a liquidity event. 401k. CFO contributes 15% with an additional $500 per paycheck through the mega backdoor option. That's so awesome. The mega backdoor opened up just this past fall. So she says, I max it out every year. I hit the max in late September. The balance in the 401k, $215,000, 40% is Roth, personal brokerage, $30,000. Husband's salary fluctuates. He's a freelancer. It was a rough year for him. He still made $80,000. Not bad. So they make almost $300,000 a year. But typically he makes more than that 80. He makes usually twice that. His old 401k is $110,000. He needs to roll it over to an IRA or do something with it since he's now a freelancer. Oh, you know what? Since he's a freelancer, maybe we should roll it into instead of an IRA rollover, maybe we should roll it into a 401k plan, a solo 401k plan. And then you can actually open up a Roth version of it. Anyway, he also has $37,000 in one stock from an old employer. Mistake using stock incentive program. We know better now. We'll be more diversified. High yield savings, $32,000 in emergency fund. 18 grand set aside for remodel and travel. We also have an account with all the money that we will owe in taxes for next year since my husband is a freelancer. This is so good. Here's the best. We spend much less than we earn. Monthly spending, all expenses and mortgage, $5,500 a month. They save an extra $5,000 every month for remodeling, for travel, for brokerage. And next year, they're going to save even more because they'll finish with the remodeling. Okay. Any red flags? Here are the questions. Where should I be saving extra cash? I was thinking of saving extra cash because kids sound so expensive they are. Are we invested in the right mix? Am I missing anything in the portfolio? Let's see what we got. 401ks, target date funds through Fidelity and Morgan Stanley, respectively. Wife's brokerage. I'm just looking. These are basically exchange traded funds, smaller amounts in other exchange traded funds. Tried to invest in more sustainable index funds. It's not paying off. Thanks for all you do, CFO of the family. First of all, it sounds like you guys are doing great. That's number one. Number two, husband, let's deal with him because he's the freelancer. So I think rolling his old 401k into a solo 401k, you can do that wherever, if you got your Fidelity account, do that. Just do it there. It's easy, fine. And then, basically for you guys, you're young, you're 32. So you have your money in an index fund, like a broad index fund, US. But another, let's say that you were like 70% in US extended market index and 10% in an international index and then 20% in a bond index. Boom, you're done. That's it. I'm kind of done with the target date funds for you guys. You have more money than you need. What about this old the 37 grand in the one stock from the old employer? Why don't we blow this out? Why not get rid of it? And here's why I'm thinking that. It sounds to me like this is a year where you're going to make less money because he's going to go back up to say 150 in terms of income next year. And he's at 80 right now. So maybe we just take the hit. Why not? Let's do that. So I think that that's good. If you want to save extra cash, I like that as well. Make sure it's in a high yield savings account. Other than that, anything else we're missing, Mark?
I mean, I think they're doing great. 32 years old, basically 400,000 saved, $1 million house. I don't like the brokerage account mix. She's got 8 funds in there. Really only need 3. The VOO, and VTI, that's basically overlap. I would pick one or the other.
Okay.
I would clean that up, but yeah, I mean, they're kicking butt.
Clean up that stuff. Let's make sure that you have a brokerage account that has fewer holdings, and maybe let's think about getting rid of that singular stock, that one stock, especially because your tax bracket is probably going to be going up in the future. Okay, last one here. This is great, Mark. This is something maybe you can hold Kate's hand. It says, subject, trapped by amazing interest rate. Hello. We recently had to move for work and have been renting our beautiful old home. We're locked in for 30 years at 2.99%. And our rent that they're receiving is able to cover the mortgage and provide a savings for the house repair fund. We'd like to purchase a new home where we live now, but giving up that interest rate and potential asset of having that second property is difficult. Without having much for a down payment, without the sale of the house, our choices are more restricted in moving forward with making a home here. We don't think we'd ever be able to buy back into this housing market in the future. We're at a bit of a stalemate. What should we do next? Well, I don't know how much money you make, Kate, but I'm going to tell you this. I wouldn't give up your 3% right now either. Here's what I really want to understand. Number one, is this a short-term move? Could you be moving back to where you love at your 30-year 2.99%? How much money do you make right now? Do you feel like you could set aside some money and maybe rent for a few years, but maybe, kind of eventually start thinking about moving? I don't feel like you have to make a big decision right now. If this is like, oh my God, I really, really, really want to move and, we really would like to buy rather, and, it's impossible, then you're going to have to just deal with it and suck it up. But if you're not sure yet, I just keep renting. I really would. We're going to be doing a little bit more next year about the housing market and what options there are for people and what you should be thinking about. I think that we've received many emails about this. It's real. Like, you do feel trapped because you made a great decision. You have a home that is financed by this ultra low mortgage interest rate. So, Mark, how did you jump over that hurdle?
Life's too short. That's how I jumped over that hurdle. I'm 45 years old. I really, 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 really want outdoor space. I don't want to wait until I'm 60, 65 to get my outdoor space. So just suck it up, get over it.
Says the man who's a little tired and has a sore throat. Okay. Suck it up and get over it. That's the empathy that they all love, Mark. Really.
No, I'm saying that's what I told myself. Suck it up and get over it.
Do you think that, first of all, both you and your wife are numbers people. So the fact that you were able to get over it shows me that, housing is not just an equation. It's where you're living. And you're right. Life is too short if you really want to make that decision. So we encourage you, get back in touch with us, because I'd like to know more about you, what's going on, because we would really, really be happy to have a conversation with you and walk you through what your options might be. Okay? So that's it, Mark. That's it for Boxing Day. I hope you had a good one. If you would like to join us on this program, all you need to do is go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button. We'll get your note. While you're on the website, don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter and check out my book, still for sale, The Great Money Reset, Change Your Work, Change Your Wealth, Change Your Life. I didn't just come up with that outro, it's my subtitle. All right, don't forget, check out our brand new YouTube show, Jill on Money. It's powered by The Compound. All of that stuff lives on our website at JillOnMoney.com. Mark Talercio with his sore throat is the co-host. What a gamer he is. He's the executive producer, the king of all things web. We are distributed by Paramount Global. We drop our episodes Tuesdays and Thursdays. Leave us a rating and review wherever you listen. And try to lift someone up today. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you next time.